Fisher-Price presents
The Adventure People.
toys for your older kids. There's the Northwoods Trailblazer, ready for his adventures. Or the Daredevil Skydiver, to go as high as a child can toss him. And the TV Action Team, to play with on its own, or with any of our 13 other Adventure People toys. The Adventure People and their TV Action Team comes complete as shown. Other sets sold separately by Fisher-Price.
The good, the bad, and the ugly show.
Hello and welcome back to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly Show. If you like these videos and enjoy them, please click on the link, like and subscribe and all that stuff. Anyway, today we're going to be taking a look at an old toy line that's very close to my heart. A brand of action figures called Fisher-Price Adventure People. So these things, I used to buy them a lot when I was a child. I'd find them in car boot sales and jumble sales. I never really understood what they were or knew much about them. But in recent years, I've found a few on the internet and I've done a bit of research. So let's take a look at some Fisher-Price Adventure People. Okay, so Fisher-Price have been around for quite a long time. They mainly make toys for like children. Like stuff like my first tape cassette player, the little tiny pull-along dogs and turtles and that kind of stuff. They made a lot of cool stuff that you'd remember from when you were like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. In 1975, they made this line called Adventure People. These are basically action figures designed towards sort of 4 to 9 year olds, but I think older kids played with them as well. They kind of served as an alternative to G.I. Joe and other action figures. They were sized 3.75 inch, which is this size of Star Wars figures, as you know. They came out a little bit before Star Wars, though. So the prototypes for Star Wars figures were actually based on the Fisher-Price Adventure People. They just took some of those, waxed some clay on them, shaved bits off them, and kind of made the characters that way. So they kind of gave birth to the Star Wars figure, in a way. But today we're going to have a little look at some of the cool stuff that came out. Yeah, a lot of this stuff I don't have, like the really cool Wild Animal Safari, which is great. And other stuff I'll show you here. And things like this, and this, and this. But I have a few in my collection, so let's go through them, shall we? Here is, we'll start off with this guy, who's like, you know, the kind of, I don't know what he is really. Green Cross Code Man, I don't know.
That wasn't very clever, was it?
He's wearing flares. He's from about 1975. He's one of the earliest ones, I believe. Yeah, he's got a kind of motorbike helmet thing going on. The visor doesn't shut. Their heads are really weird. They come down like that. And their arms are always kind of in this like weird pointy position. That's just like a Fisher-Price thing, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it? Have a look at that. So we'll move on next. I found him at a toy fair a few years ago, I think, and just had to buy it because it reminded me of the toys from my youth. Once again, I'll put him down in the centre of the screen, right there. So next we have this amazing thing, if I can get it in shot. So yeah, I love how it's got the French on the front of it. Fisher-Price Adventure People. This is the whitewater kayak. So yeah. Isn't that something? I found this in a charity shop, just kind of up on the shelf, sort of disguised, along with all the other stuff. But yeah, amazing condition as well. I'd like to find something like this out in the wild is pretty good. And I think I paid about 15 quid for this, which is actually pretty good. Considering like it's from about 1980. I love the artwork on the side there as well. If you go onto the back, here's some of the other cool stuff you can get. So yeah, look at all that. I like the deep sea diver with the squid. That's a pretty cool one. There's some people with a boat there. There's a parachute as well. There's a load of really cool stuff. So I won't go too much into that because I've got a few more things to share. So yeah, that's pretty cool, I think. Let's have a little look. Have a little look at it. Right, put this over here. So next we'll move on. So yeah, they did like kind of stuff like jeeps and white water rafting and all that kind of stuff. They also moved on to space. Because space was becoming very popular, obviously due to Star Wars figures. So I think they were competing, quite possibly. Also Star Trek as well. So we have these. So this is Mr. and Mrs. Astronauts. So yeah, so if we can focus on him. I love the way they made the helmets sort of transparent over the heads. I always thought that was a really cool thing to do. Focus. So yeah, it's a really cool figure, I think. I love the heavy boots as well, and just generalness about it. It's a really cool thing. Lots of detail in it as well, but not, kind of primitive but yet detailed. I like that. The little sign on the arm is pretty cool as well. So yeah, I had a few of these as a kid. There's a few other ones that came out as well. I'll show one of them here, a different kind of version. So we also have this is the lady astronaut as well, who's just another astronaut. Yeah, also pretty cool. Heavy boots. They look pretty cool together, I think. Quite a cool little thing, really. Yeah, so that's them. That is them. And obviously they need a craft, some kind of spaceship for them to travel around in. So that's where this comes in. So I might clear a bit of room now. Yeah, that was all starting to get a bit cluttered, wasn't it? So this here is the, what's it called? The Alpha Probe, which is a pretty cool thing. So this is from let's have a look. I think there's probably a date on the bottom here somewhere. And the date is 1979 by the looks of it. We hold that up. Is it in focus? Is it not? Yeah, 1979. So it's a cool thing. It's lasted out pretty well, I think. So let's get the gist of this then. Here's the other side of it. Here's the back of it. It's just really cool. Imagine getting this as a kid. I think I would have been quite excited. So you open this up here, and this comes out. This is like a kind of, I don't know, like a little space, like another little spaceship that comes out of it. So you can put these guys inside there, like that, and that shuts, and that's pretty cool, right? And that can sit inside your inside the craft. But what also happens is you can pull this bit forward as well, and you can put one of them inside and shut that again. So they're driving it, and then this probe can go inside like that, and you have your astronauts, and you can see him through the front window in there, which is great. And now, do you think this toy's lasted since 1979? What are the chances of it still working? Pretty good. Next button. It's like something from a nightmare, isn't it? Like, it reminds me of like early computer games, Atari and Commodore and stuff. So final button makes those lights go. So when I first bought this toy back, I say toy, this amazing vessel. When I first brought this back home, it was quite late at night, and I'd had a few beers, and I opened the box up, and my wife was asleep in bed, and I pressed this button. Yeah, she wasn't happy. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, so anyway, here's this. It's a cool thing, I think. Definitely deserves a place on the shelf. And yeah, I love it. I mean, it's just, it's a good bit of detail about it. Also, something I forgot to kind of mention with these guys as well, is if you have a look at, this is another amazing feature, but sadly I don't have the stuff for it. But okay, if you look at their backs, they have these little holes, and in the ship, there's another little hole there. And now, it's like a little white plastic bendy thing. You can stick them on there, stick them on the ship, so it looks like they're floating, like an astronaut, or kind of attached and floating in space. And that was really, really cool. But, yeah, sadly, I didn't get any of those. I mean, I got this for a pretty good price as well. I think it was about 15 quid, again. Which you can't really go wrong with. I've seen them going for a lot more. So, yeah, pretty cool thing, though, I think. Pretty much almost complete as well. So now we're going to move into the slightly more fantastic territory. These space people needed something to fight. And yeah, aliens, obviously. So we move out of the whole realms of like space flight and like deep sea diving and all the things that we know exist. We move on to, yeah, aliens. Here is an alien craft. So it's a cool little thing. I like the way it has Fisher Price written on the sides of it, like it's a make of car or something. A weird little thing on wheels. This was made in also 1979 as well. So yeah, yep, fairly old. And yeah, here's the guy himself. So if we can focus on his face, which we might, yeah, they're green. They're green with piercing yellow eyes, a scary alien race. Although he looks quite friendly, really. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be baddies or allies or what. I guess you'd probably make them fight because, you know, got nothing better to do. Yeah, it's also got a hole in his back so you can stick him onto the, make him look like he's floating. Another cool thing. There were loads of these. There was a green lady. There was another green guy. They've become really hard. They've become really hard to find now. I used to find them everywhere, as I say, car boot sales and jumble sales. They were always around. Now they're worth like, I don't know, hundreds of pounds. There you go, that's life for you. Anyhow, we have him. He goes inside this vessel here and flies around. Yeah. It's a cool thing. It's a cool thing. I like his little sign as well. It's like a sort of like a sun, like a burning planet or something. You see, these guys obviously have the, that. Yeah. We also have this guy, who I would say is pretty obviously a robot because of his like metal claws and his buttons on his front and stuff. The head still works the same. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. I've always liked this. I had this toy as well when I was a very, very young youngster. But yeah, if you look how far it's kind of come from the first range to this. Yeah, terrifying. So yeah, that's pretty much Fisher-Price Adventure, people. I mean, I'll put a couple more pictures up on the screen to show you some of the other amazing things you could get. We'll have one last look at this. We haven't really looked at this guy in here yet. Yeah, looks kind of generic. He's not really got the bent arm as well. I guess it's because he has to hold the oar, I guess. There you go, paddle, whatever you call it. I don't know anything about boats. So yeah, that's just a few Fisher-Price Adventure people that I thought I would share with you today because we haven't done a toy video for a little while. And I thought, you know, let's get these guys out. Anyhow, I guess we'll probably do another one soon. I think there's a history of Kenner coming up soon. I think that's something that me and Timbo want to do. So we'll get on that. But yeah, for now, please like, share, and subscribe to The Good, the Bad, and The Ugly Show.
Because there's no room left in hell.